Alright everybody, halfway through tiling. Ooh, it's going to be a fuzzy video again. It's the lighting, I think. Right, now as I said, we were putting a row of mosaics up here. I said that in a funny voice because we've got a bit of a thing, whether it's mosaic or mosaic or whatever. Anyway, I was so obsessed with, I'd worked out the height of the tiles. So we had full tiles at the top, so the cut was at the bottom, like you meant to do, but I was so obsessed with having a straight cut up here, so I didn't have a long dog-legged cut there. I forgot about working. What I should have done was worked away from the mosaic, so there was a half a tile here, half a tile there. So now it's offset. Twat. And because of that, I ended up with a small cut up this end. There's only two of them, which is going to be partially covered by the tiles on this wall. So that wall's done. We had a slight bow in the wall and the floor running away. So what I decided to do was, this guy on the Wix video, he says, I don't know if I've got the bit of wood. Hold on. Right. If you mark out on your batten, you can see those lines on there. You lay your tiles out with your spacers, and then you can hold it up on the wall, focus, and you can slide it up and down. It gives you an idea of where your tiles are, and then you can work them out perfectly. Because you don't want to slither, so try and cut one of those tiles only a couple of inches wide with a tile cutter. Not impossible, but you'd have to use your mechanical cutter with a disc to cut along there, because the prongs on the cutter, which bends it to snap it after you've scored it, hang over the edge. So you want to work out best you can that if you've got to have a cut like down the bottom there, focus, you need it at least over 100 mil. That's 115, so you can get a decent cut, you know, over half a tile really, if you can work it. So if you've got to have a sliver both sides, you need to move your tiles up or down to compensate for a thin cut. You know, you watch these videos on YouTube and they make it look so easy, but you've got so many things to think about. Sliding them up and down the level of your sink. Now I asked the plumber to leave some fittings loose so we could move the sink forward and tile behind it, because I'd never be able to cut around that. It would take forever, so we can just seal around that and it makes it nice and tidy. And the other thing I was going to mention is, yeah, the guy on YouTube, he says stick a batten on there, do your full tiles up, and then leave a gap and do your cut tiles afterwards. Because when you're cutting, you never get them exactly the same. So you're up against it straight away. At least doing this, you've got a flat surface to tile to, and you can tile up the wall. And you take that off once it's gone off, and do your cuts at the bottom. And it doesn't matter if you've got a deviation at the bottom. You've got a mastic edge along here which covers your. If you look on this side, now the cuts tend to vary slightly. So what I've done here is we've got another, I think they call it, what did the bloke call it on the video? Waterfall of tiles coming down in mosaics. And we've measured the centre line and gone half either side of the centre line and put a batten up on the wall, because when you put the glass mosaics on, because they don't stick, like the back side of the tiles are so porous, they stick to the bloody adhesive like shit to a blanket. Mind my French. But the mosaics, they tend to slither around a little bit, and because they can concertina on the backing. Now they come on a webbing backing. If you look at these ones here, you can see how floppy they are. Right now they come on a webbing backing, which they can move backwards and forwards. So what they sell now is this sticky backing stuff. So you cut your mosaics to the size you want, cut this to the size you want, peel this off, stick your mosaics onto there, that stops them shuffling around. And this is like the back of your tiles, it's better for adhesion. And it makes it a hell of a lot easier. And we've done the bathroom downstairs with a lot of mosaics, and because the glass moves around a bit, you've got to put spaces all over the place and it's all slithering up and down like a snake. It's a bit of a bloody nightmare. But using those sticky pads on the back and getting that vertical at the start, you know, straight away you're onto a winner, because you've got a good edge, a square edge to tile to. So I've got a full tile and a 2/3 tile, and we'll just do the brick pattern all the way up, and it looks all right. Anyway, that's just a little tile scan video. I bought, because the tiles were 500mm, my tile cutter was only £4.50, I think. I bought this tile cutter. It's £19.98. I don't know how they freaking make them so cheap. And that came with a hole cutter as well. I don't know if you can see it at the end there, on the back there. It comes with a scribing hole cutting attachment which fits on here, and you score it round. That's for cutting your big hole for your waste pipes. You know, if you've got, like on the back of here, our waste goes down through the floor, as you saw me fitting it in. But if your waste pipe goes out the back, you need to cut your tile so it goes out through the wall. So I think the thing to do with this is only don't make masses of adhesive up, because before you know it, it's starting to go off. Although they say their work time, on the back it says the work time is 5 hours, within an hour it's too dry, and it's hard to work with, and it makes your hands hurt, and it's hard to get the tiles level because it's going harder, it doesn't compress as well. So make a smaller amount up, and it also gives you time to get it on the wall, get your spaces in, and then you can go out, wash all your tools. You need to wash your tools and the bucket. Now every time you remix, you need to wash everything so you're not getting any lumps in your adhesive, and then come back, clean everything off. So if you've got any protruding adhesive in your joints, will interfere with your grout. So if you've got a bit coming through and then you're grouting with white, it sticks through the grout, and you can see it stands out a mile. So do small sections at a time, clean back with a damp sponge, not too wet that it starts getting into everything, but just enough to clean the joints out. And I think, like with a lot of other jobs I've shown you, if you methodically work through it, so knock up your adhesive, focus, knock up your adhesive, do a small section, wash your tools, come back, clean everything down, move on to the next section, another set of adhesive, tiles on, clean down, and then you've got to look back at what you cleaned before, because it starts to get a haze on it, which is what you want when you're doing the grouting, but you don't want that with the adhesive. You want to clean that off, keep it as clean as possible. And the trouble with the mosaics is it squeezes up through. You can see like that. So you've got to clean them back, and the more work you put in now, the better it will look when you're doing your grouting. You know, because the grouting is what finishes it off and makes it look really good. So we've put these on, and you can see up here it's squeezing through a little bit, so we're just going to let that go off a bit, then we're going to come back and clean all that out, and then I'm moving on to tile up. I'm going to tile up this side, then I'll get that batten off. So I'll do one load of mix, I'll tile up as far as I can for that mix, go out and wash. While that's setting, I'll take that batten off, I'll get this horizontal in here on my studs, carry that horizontal line around here. I'm in a rush to get it done because I want to get it tiled so the plumber can come back and finish the shower off. plumb in the power shower. We can get the riser rail on. Anyway guys, I think that's part 7. You know, I'm doing these videos for my tips. Not many people are watching them, but if I help one person out, it's put a bit back in the system for the videos that I've watched that have helped me out. Okay.